Before starting this podcast, guys, I would like to say that my microphone didn't work well, so you can't really hear some words I said or questions I asked to the professor because of my microphone. I tried my best to fix this problem and raise the volume, but there's still some parts where it's kind of hard to understand what I'm saying. You have to kind of listen to it a few times, but I just want you to know that this is not going to happen in the future again. I'm going to double check everything before recording, and I just apologize for this episode. It's really special to me. I really value the opportunity that I had to speak with this professor. She was extremely nice and kind, but I'm glad that you can at least hear her voice, which is more important in this podcast. But yeah, I'm extremely sorry that happened, but I'm gonna try my best from now on to give you the best quality of what I do, and I'm not gonna let this happen again. Thank you so much for understanding, and let's get started now. Welcome to Lives Across Cultures, Voices from Japan. This is your host Daria, and today I'm here with a very special guest that I've been looking forward to interview, Professor Wadhwa Megha. Professor Megha has earned her PhD in Global Studies from Sophia University and is a researcher focusing on migration, gender, and visual anthropology, particularly in Asian contexts, and the author of books that explore identity, mobility, and everyday life across borders. I'm really excited and grateful to be able to interview such an inspiring person. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I'm gonna start with some questions about your childhood, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, when did you realize that this was something that you wanted to do in the future? Like, was there something or someone when you were little that inspired you?
When I was little, I wanted to have my own business empire.
Oh, I love that.
Or then I had a dream that I wanted to be an engineer. I remember giving an interview for a radio in India, and they asked me, what do I want to be? And I was like, I want to be an engineer who has a business empire. But my memories of my childhood, I always used to play like two type of things. One was that I would dress up in Indian attire, like sari, and I would act like I am the CEO of some company. And I had this bag in which I would put playing cards, and they were my currency, and I am giving big salaries to people. And then the second game I used to play was that I am a teacher, and I am teaching at a university or a school. I don't remember distinctly like what was that.
You're doing that now.
Yeah. So the other part is now the CEO part is remaining, and I have to have my own currency. So the anthropology and PhD was I knew the final goal, but I did not know how to get there. Yeah. That sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay, sorry.
No.
What about like visual anthropology? Like, how did you get into filmmaking?
Okay. So I think we'll start with anthropology. Like, I came to Japan in 2007, and I was learning Japanese language. Then I was teaching English, and that was a time I realized that I want to study further. I'd only done undergrad until then, and before coming to Japan, I also had a choice to go to Australia to do a double degree course. In international studies and Japanese studies, and then I decided to move to Japan because I was also studying Japanese language in India, and I was working for a Japanese company, Marubeni, in India. It's a trading company. It's Marubeni. You can Google. It's one of the biggest trading companies in Japan. Marubeni Mitsui. Yeah. So they had like India branch, and I was working there. But then I realized my Japanese is not good, and I want to know more about Japan. My first choice was that maybe I'll go to Australia, but my Japanese professor said that you'll be stupid to go to Australia and do Japanese studies there. They do have a very good Japanese studies department, but he probably wanted me to actually come to Japan and do more of Japanese language and understand the culture firsthand. So that's why I changed the plan and came to Japan. Then I was doing, when I was doing English teaching at schools, Ekaivas, kindergarten, different places. And that also very quickly reached the saturation point that I am not getting what I want. So that feeling was there. And then I was like, okay, I always wanted to do masters. So, and I remember my first week in Japan, I went to see somebody at Embassy of India, and that time Embassy of India was walking distance from here. It was temporarily based in Ichigaya.
Oh, really?
And I went through the main gate and I looked at the university and I was like, wow, this is a cool university. And then, yeah, that was manifestation again.
Right.
So then in 2011, I decided to do my master's here. I started with gender studies.
Yeah.
And then I got a mixed scholarship. And that was a brilliant chance to actually continue my studies and not give a break. And I do think I always have been the kind of person who likes studying. So, and if somebody was supporting me, if I had to spend my own money, I don't think I would have been able to do it. Not that I wouldn't have wanted to do it, but I wouldn't have been able to finance myself.
So you got the scholarship.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, this is blessing. I have to get PhD, even though at that time a lot of people told me that there's no career after PhD. You should get a job after masters. Overqualified to get a job. Anthropology came into my life because of my mentor. One of my second mentors, like you have main mentor and second mentor, was an anthropologist, and he was doing religious studies. He was doing Filipino community in Japan, and he was the one who actually was my inspiration in the time, and also my mentor, who is an Indian but naturalized Japanese in Japan. And he gave me this idea that, because I used to say, oh, my mentor Terada Sensei was doing this very interesting research about Filipino community in Japan, and then he was like, you could do something about Indian community in Japan, and that's how it got into picture. Yeah. And then filming came into picture again because my mentor Terada Sensei used to organize photography classes. So I used to do, like, every summer we used to have like a month, like every week we used to have like photography class for field work. So I liked photography, but that gave me a totally different level of knowledge about photography for the field work. So if you look at my book, it has several photographs where I have used those photographs to explain my field.
Indian migrants in Tokyo?
Yes. So, and that further, I watched this documentary, and that was about the Nepalese cook in Japan by another friend of mine. His name is Dipesh Kharel. I like his work very much, and I think his work, and my professor here right now, Professor David Slater, he has done quite a lot of work about Tohoku 9/11. He has done a visual project about 9/11, and he has done visual project about refugees in Japan.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so I think so he was the main push, like he really inspired me to get into visual studies. And then I watched my friend's documentary, so that was like, okay, I really can do this as well. So I went to Manchester to do a filmmaking course. It was, I did my defense on 30th June, and the next day I flew to Manchester. So filmmaking course was a present to myself for successfully completing my PhD. So it was a self-investment.
Wow, that's so nice.
And
Did you also get a scholarship for
no,
that?
it was all self-investment. So I gave myself a big present to become a
But it
doctor.
was worth it.
Definitely, yeah.
So you traveled a lot around the world. I mean, you went to Singapore.
Yeah.
Why did you go to Singapore?
I went to Singapore during my time in Germany.
Okay. Oh, for the projects you were working on.
Yes, right. So the initial plan was that only Japan was on my project. I had always wanted to do a comparative with the country as, migration, where the language is English, because I was mainly focusing on Japan
Right.
Germany, like the languages are not English. Singapore was English speaking, and in that time, we were not immediately able to come to Japan because of COVID.
Oh, right, right.
So after I left Japan, I did not have the visa to come back. So then I
That's
was,
so troublesome.
yeah, it was actually depressing because Japan has been home for me and I couldn't come back home. So that was quite depressing. And to get over that depression, I thought it would be nice to add Singapore in my region. And I had been to Singapore before. So Singapore was my second country after Japan abroad. But it was for a tour. But this time I went for a longer period to do my research. So it was nice. Yeah.
What kind of, like, I don't know, maybe like cultural difference have you noticed? Well, when you traveled in all of those different countries.
Oh, there are different cultures. There's so many nice things about every country that I've visited, and there is problem in every country that I've visited. So nobody's perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Every country has like its downside and
Yeah, good side and upside. So, but I've loved them all.
so as I'm looking around here, I'm seeing a lot of like things related to women and women's rights, and I've seen that you're very passionate about that as well.
Yeah.
And I also like it. I'm really like very interested in women's rights and speaking up for women. I wanted to ask you like, why do you think migrant women's experiences are still so underrepresented in so many countries? Like, even if it's 2025 and there has been a lot of like movement about, well, a lot of people have spoken up a bit more about women and women's rights, but it's still, I feel like it's still a bit underrepresented, and men are still like a little bit above women.
Yeah, I think so. Like, if you, it's not just the migrant women. For a very long time, women have been underrepresented, right? So for a very long time, it was the men who were moving to another country, and because they were seen as skilled and they were the breadwinner of the house, so like they are the ones who were getting a lot of focus academically in terms of policy. And there is this like social structure where people see that, oh, he's a man, he's a breadwinner, and the woman, and like she must be supporting her husband. So the same pattern has followed even in migration. But I would also say that, yeah, of course, I'm a feminist and I'm I really support women. But I also do have to mention that feminism is not just only about supporting women. We also have to look into masculine toxicity, that men being seen as skilled all the time also is a pressure for them. Like in recent cases, I do see that there are men who are happy to be homemakers, but then they get a pressure from these mummy groups that, oh, he is useless. Or the relatives will ask the wife that, why is your husband, are you okay? Why is your husband not working? We feel really sorry for you. So I think it's a social structure that has kept women underrepresented, but that has also created toxicity for men. So it's a problem on both the sides, but it's just that we just moved feminism to a totally different direction. It became like one versus the other when it was supposed to be one for the other.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, also the motto of my university.
Yeah. With others for others.
Yes.
I mean, feminism is about equality, not just like women being better than men. And yeah, I feel like that's true. Now that you mention it, I feel like a lot of men nowadays feel a lot of pressure into like, oh, I have to perform and I have to work a lot to demonstrate that I can earn a lot of money and sustain my family because I'm the man of the house. And I can speak from personal experience that is true. There's a lot of pressure on them too. And we should, I know it's difficult, but we should try to find a way to kind of like accommodate needs of both men and women somehow. I don't really know what we could do to do that, but it's important to acknowledge all the bad and good sides of, well, men and women in the workplace.
Yeah. But I also don't want to distract you from talking about women by focusing more on men as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, we have focused quite a lot on them. And I do think that doesn't mean that we should not talk about the underrepresentation of the, migrant women, because that is also a very important topic.
It is. And a lot of them are, especially in Japan, a lot of migrant women and also Japanese women are very underpaid compared to men. My mom as well, she does a lot of work for her company and sometimes even more twice than other, like her colleagues, which are most men, do. And she doesn't really get any recognition for that. They just like assume that that's normal. And she does a lot of things that really help the company, but she barely gets any bonuses, and it's just hard for her. It's a lot of stress. Every single day she comes home late, and the wage is still pretty low compared to her colleagues.
Yeah, I think because also like the Japanese society in particular is also patriarchal, like India is a patriarchal society. I mean, a lot of them are. And here the understanding is that the women's role is to look after the children.
Yeah,
And and the man's role is to, earn and bring the money home. So the women can take like, subordinate roles and get paid less, and they can do like petty jobs so that they don't have to use their brain. But they have a lot of brains. They're really intelligent women out there. And and it was
capable.
Yeah, I mean,
people just like don't take women into consideration because they just think they're not capable of doing certain
absolutely. I mean, a lot of women, like in my research, they are actually quite well educated, a lot of them. I mean, the work that I do on trailing spouses, of course, there are women who choose to be homemakers or who get into like home businesses, small businesses, because they don't want to get back to corporate world for whatever reasons. But a lot of them do want to, and they are capable of doing so. But it's a long journey. They do ultimately get into the market, but it's not an easy journey for them to. I mean, my argument has always been, why is there need for them to fight? Why can't they just get it as easily as any other?
That's also a reason why I'm a feminist, because I feel like feminism is about having a choice, It's about choosing whether you want to be a housewife or working somewhere, and it shouldn't be just like, oh, we need to work. It's about having a choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You could be a homemaker if you want to be, or you could be a full-time worker, or you could be like a dual income house, whatever. Yeah.
Do you think Japan's approach to migration has changed throughout the years? Like
recently? Yeah. It's loud and clear. I do not even need to say anything about it. It's pretty loud and clear right now.
Yeah, they've also raised the prices of renewing your visa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
higher now.
So, I mean, I am seeing a far right shift all over the world, but I wasn't expecting for Japan to do that so quickly, because usually Japan takes time.
Yeah,
so I thought we have like a few years in hand, but they were pretty quick.
The cost of renewing your visa initially was, I think, 1,000,000, and now it's like, how much is it? I think 10 times more.
No, so the PR was Ichiman yen, and now it will become Juman.
Yeah.
And the visa was around, I think, 4,000 or 6,000 yen, and now it's going to be 30,000 or 40,000. So both of them have increased like 10 times.
But now that, since the birth rate is declining and Japan has a lot of like labor shortage, I feel like this is not really a good time to implement this kind of new policies when Japan needs migrants the most right now. I don't think, my personal take on this is that they shouldn't have done this right now.
But they said that they're doing it for our well-being, so this was sarcasm, sorry. But yeah, I think they are trying to like, there are countries that do have very expensive visas, like UK is extremely, yeah, I mean, I paid, my husband is British,
Oh.
So I got my husband is British and I got a visa to visit our family regularly. So I got a 10-year visa and I paid
a lot of money.
Considering the history, that is quite a big question.
Right.
But you can't do anything about it, can you? But it's the same for everybody, like not just me.
Okay.
But I was just seeking for some kind of consideration because of the history.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't get
There
it.
should have been a little discount at least.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been nice.
You've got my diamond.
How do you see migration and Japan accepting immigrants over the next decade? Do you think they're gonna start accepting more people, foreigners, or do you think it's gonna just go downhill?
No, I don't think it's gonna go downhill. They will probably control it because of the pressure that they're getting right now. So they will have to control it. Most countries do that. They control if there is too much of incoming of migrants. Singapore has done that. They restrict how many people they give PR to. They restrict how many people they want to accept. But it's not like they're gonna stop altogether, unless I don't know if the world is going to take some totally different turn. But I don't think that migration has been a part of this world for a very long time. It's been happening forever. Yeah. So the way it is done, maybe, I don't know. I don't think we'll go back to being indentured laborers. I hope not. But yeah, I think like what I'm trying to say is that it might restrict it, but I don't think it won't stop it. I mean, why would it stop it? I don't think robots are not as good as humans as yet.
Yeah.
It will take another, I don't know, they could never be as good as humans. So they will need, and they need, I mean, like they're still hiring a lot of people. They need a huge number for their caregiving sector. That's one of the, like one of these jobs, like people in politics, the far right supporters are making so much of noise against the foreigners, but they are not able to see the jobs foreigners are doing.
That's so true.
I mean, like
agriculture and all of these not little, at the end of the day, they're not little jobs, but migrants are covering a lot of, I feel like, essential jobs that they don't really notice.
Exactly. Yeah, and sadly, I have like very close friends who I have seen making this shift because they started following, Sanseto, and they've been brainwashed too. So I have seen them making that shift, and they are working for they live in Tokyo, working in multinational companies. They haven't seen how the suburb areas of Japan is going through right now. So I think like people have been put into their own bubble, not just in Japan, wherever this, extreme far right emotions can be seen, and they're just seeing from their own little vision and not seeing that what is beyond them. So that is quite tricky, but I don't think the government is not crazy to stop foreigners from coming in. They do realize that they do need it.